Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi's disaster assessments team revisited Tlahuac City, Mexico to comfort quake victims and to see how they can help in the future. New Shoots Scholarship recipient Liu Zhongwei keeps his grades up while he does part-time job to share his family's financial burden. Participants of the 12th Tzu Chi training camp for staff learn about the future developments and goals of Tzu Chi's 4 missions. After the earthquake in Mexico, the Tzu Chi disaster assessments team recently revisited Tlahuac, and they found many people still living in a tent a month after the disaster. When can the quake survivors return home is what the volunteers are concerned about.
A month after the earthquake, the situation in the Federation of Tlahuac is still precarious. Many of its inhabitants have not been able to return to their homes.
After a month in Tlahuac, in general, we still need a lot of help because we have several needs to cover. We have several houses that suffered very serious damage derived from the cracks below their houses. It broke walls, columns, roofs, and took the patrimony of many inhabitants. We have several families living on the street who still need housing.
I lived here in Building 20G, Department 103, and they told us that we can no longer inhabit our homes. We had to live here. Someone gave us a tent, but it's too cold. It's really cold. They're thermal, but the cold gets to us because the wind is very strong.
What we are seeing here is the depth of the crack in which the floor was opened is approximately 160 centimeters deep that crosses several houses, which spans approximately 20 to 25 meters.
We do not know yet how we're going to keep the houses. We were told that they're going to demolish them, but they still need a geologist to come examine the area. Until then, we're living here. Here we eat and sleep, each to their own families, because the place is all we have to sleep in. It gives us great joy when all of these people visit us, because it makes us feel good even though we cry, because it gives us joy and it makes us tear up, seeing people supporting us and trying to make us happy.
Hualien, Taiwan frequently experiences the rumbling of earthquakes. This area also has many older campus structures and buildings with a lack of funding, making them unsafe during the earthquake disasters. Last year, a disaster risk reduction project led by Tzu Chi began to help young people learn in a safer and more comfortable environment. On the morning of the 24th, an opening ceremony was held for 6 schools involved in the project, marking the completion of the project.
On
the morning of October 24th, Tzu Chi hosted an opening ceremony to commence the completion of the 6 schools in Hualien, which underwent the risk reduction construction project. The ceremony was held in Hualien's Guofeng Junior High, where Tzu Chi's charity mission CEO also brought words of blessings from Master Zhen Yan.
Using love and compassion, Tzu Chi has thrown itself into risk reduction projects, not only providing students a safer learning environment, as well as sowing the seeds of compassion inside the hearts of each student.
After a year of hard work by people from all walks of life during this construction period, a firm foundation for a well education is now the result.
I want to thank all of the Tzu Chi people who have been the pride of Taiwan. We hope Tzu Chi can continue their compassionate work in the Hualien area and spread this brightness to more corners of the world.
During the festive ceremony, each of the schools presented their talents for everyone to enjoy, as a way to thank those involved for their hard work and efforts. The new school building, which have been built upon the old school grounds, gives each campus a renewed vigor for the upcoming days. Aiding the united opening ceremony for these schools is the scout troop from Guofeng Junior High.
Besides the rebuilding of our campus, These students have such a good environment to learn in, making me very happy. Though in charge of this opening ceremony, we have learned a lot from the details. We are very glad to have been given this opportunity to be in charge of this event.
Many of the schools in Hualien were built years ago and were not updated for today's earthquake standards. Thus, Tzu Chi began a disaster risk reduction project for many of the schools lacking funding for such an update. In total, 6 schools qualified for the project, and construction began on February 19, 2016. The ceremony on the 24th of October of this year marks the completion of this project.
This risk reduction project in the Hualien and Taidong region is very important to the schools in these areas. It's to prevent a greater catastrophe from happening. So if a quake or other natural disasters hit, the students and teachers will be safe.
With the help of Tzu Chi, these 6 schools in Hualien are giving students a new and safe learning environment.
In our next report, we meet New Shoots Scholarship recipient Liu Zhongwei. He is an 8th grader who comes from an underprivileged family. To reduce his family's financial burden, he seizes every chance to do part-time work. He also studies very hard to maintain top academic performances. Liu Zhongwei has been very independent since he was in elementary school, as he always rides his bike to go to school. Now he is an 8th grader and he has an extra work to do on his way home. He can earn $3 by helping people dump the trash once every 2 weeks.
I save the money I earn. I may either use it to buy school supplies or give it to my mom.
His classmates usually spend money on extra classes, but he knows that he currently doesn't have this opportunity. Therefore, he studies hard to maintain top academic performances.
I may ask my teacher questions after class. If I have problems when I study on my own, I may ask my classmates. I want to help my family save money.
Liu's mother, who is from Indonesia, is a Catholic. For Liu and his mother, the calmest time of the day is when they pray together.
I ask for nothing else. I only hope that my children can be obedient and live a peaceful and happy life. It is not necessary for me to be very rich.
Liu's father is unable to work because he is almost blind. Therefore, Liu's mother has become the financial support of the family. Thankfully, with Tzu Chi's assistance, Liu has been able to receive New Shoots scholarships for 3 years.
They are Buddhists, but they are willing to help us despite the religious differences.
Because his mother's salary is limited and his brother is still a college student who also needs living expenses. Sometimes his father needs to see a doctor and his grandma also needs money.
Although Liu is in the adolescence rebellion period, he is more mature than the children his age as he strives to achieve his goals.
I hope that I can get into a nice senior high school and university as well as find a good job so that my mom won't need to work so hard.
Tzu Chi Philippines chapter held its 3rd Wellness and Vegetarian Food Fair to promote vegetarianism and environmental protection. This year, volunteers also raised funds for Tzu Chi's educational mission. Let's take a look. This map of the Philippines is covered with small black spots. As long as one donates $2 to share poor children's education costs, a black spot can be removed, giving these children more hope.
Tzu Chi not only pays attention to their knowledge and techniques, but also educates them about moral character. This is a very precious opportunity.
The moral character, and this is very important. If everybody of us will contribute for education.
Tzu Chi Philippines chapter held its 3rd Wellness and Vegetarian Food Fair. In addition to promoting environmental protection, volunteers also raised funds for their educational mission. To thank Tzu Chi's support, a college student provided handmade traditional snacks for a charity sale.
I'm happy that I can make rice cake for charity sale and donate the money to help students in need.
Some care recipients' children also contribute their share by folding towel animals.
Often are the children of Tzu Chi care recipients. Since they know they have received a lot of help from Tzu Chi, now it's time for them to repay this love.
At the event, there are a total of 72 booths attracting 900 participants on opening day. These actions recognize and support Tzu Chi's missions in the Philippines. Every year, Tzu Chi volunteer Yang Bifeng brings her mother to this fair for a charity sale. This year, they have prepared steamed spring rolls, which are Taiwanese traditional snacks. They have also donated the money they earned from this charity sale.
Every year we donate all the money. My mother is 88 years old this year. She wraps steamed spring rolls here every year. So many of her friends usually come to look at her wrapping steamed spring rolls and buy them.
This year is the third time that the Wellness and Vegetarian Food Fair has been held. Many Tzu Chi volunteers shoulder the responsibility to help out. Some companies have also been invited to set up their booths. To protect planet's Earth, these bags are made of recycled tires.
This is also a small way of trying to contribute for the environment. We are a very small company, but somehow we are creating this awareness for the public.
At the site, this group of recycling volunteers practice recycling all the time.
By doing recycling, we can not only keep the environment clean, but we can also educate everyone, especially young people, not to litter.
At this fair, everyone takes actions to protect the environment. In addition, they all feel very happy doing some good deeds. In Taiwan, the 12th Tzu Chi training camp for staff was held at the Hualien Jinsi Hall. Over the course of 3 days, the participants learned about the developments and future goals of Tzu Chi affiliates. Let's join them there.
Senior Tzu Chi staff member Hong Jingyuan gives the first lecture on ways to cultivate blessing and wisdom in order to walk the Bodhisattva path. It is important for the participants to understand the root of Tzu Chi spirit so they can persevere.
Our common goal is to document history. We seize every moment to write the history for these people. I think we uphold the principles of being honest, upright, and compassionate. In the end, the Master hopes we can purify people's minds, harmonize society, and help lessen the disasters in the world.
As disasters are taking place more frequently around the world, it is a sign that people must take actions to protect planet Earth. Among the Tzu Chi affiliates, 6 Tzu Chi hospitals safeguard people's lives and health with love.
Only when we embrace the public and maintain our medical quality can we have the chance to set ourselves apart from other hospitals.
We document the history of kind people in this era and present such history to the public. In addition, we hope in future generations, more people can see this. We need to reach out and find a way to awaken people who have not been awakened and invite them to ride the Dharma boat with us.
Hualien is more remote compared to other regions. However, I hope the students' studies won't be limited to the school. They should reach out.
The seminars at the training camp encourage people to combine their volunteer spirit with work. On the last day of Tzu Chi's training camp, Tzu Chi's affiliates share their future developments and goals.
We are friendly in 6 ways. We provide hope. We are friendly to lives, community, environment, the planet Earth, and the international community. I hope we can become a role model for global religious charity organizations.
Our 6 hospitals promote environmental protection because of Master's principles. In addition, we promote vegetarianism. These are what we are working on right now.
The education mission has implemented new principles for training talents. It wants to implement Tzu Chi's humanitarianism and become more international.
When we understand what our mission is, then our jobs at the Tzu Chi affiliates will become more than work. What is missionary work? It is a combination of life and work for people to enjoy working.
In the past, we rely on the media such as radio, print, and TV to spread Dharma teachings. However, now do you have a cell phone with you? Cell phone is a tool to help spread the Master's teachings, so we can spread teaching through different channels.
As different Tzu Chi affiliates proceed in the correct direction, the Master also has expectations of them.
大家都是第一代慈济宗门，还有呢净思华脉的第一代啦，我们都要有责任，把这样的第一代的华脉宗门呢，好好把它明朗的建立起来，在这个大空间呐， 所说的大空间，就是世界每一个空间都有慈济人，我们都要把它奠定下来。
Over the course of 3 days, the participants have gained much, ready to pass on the Jingsi Dharma lineage and expand the Tzu Chi path.
In our continuing series of successful stem cell transplant cases, today we meet stem cell donor Chen Yijing, who was notified that she could save a leukemia patient's life when she was about to get married. She thought this was a waiting blessing from the Bodhisattva. Then she happily donated her stem cells, giving Yang Shun'an a second chance at life.
He is really good, he is quite amazing, and he works with his father and they go home together.
I give my family a perfect score. Really, my children are very obedient. My son and daughter are very obedient.
Living a simple life, 33-year-old Yang Sheng'an is a family man. 7 years ago, he almost died from a serious illness.
When I got up, I felt a headache that lasted for several hours. The pain did not go away even after I took painkillers. Then a hospital checkup revealed I had leukemia.
It was hard to believe at first. I thought this could not happen to us. Then I immediately thought that my daughter is still very young.
Back then, their only daughter was only 4 months old. Sheng'an fell ill too early in life.
I felt that he was having a tougher time than us, as he had to face this problem, this illness. I told him his daughter and I were doing well. Then after I walked out of the hospital ward and he could no longer see me, I broke down, letting out my emotion and pressure.
She said, I am willing to shorten my life to save our son. Really, his mother had a tougher time. We also prayed for a miracle. Later, thanks to God and Tzu Chi's help, we have a second chance at life.
Sheng'an was diagnosed with acute leukemia. When he was undergoing the second chemotherapy, he found a matching stem cell donor.
有一个病人他生病了，然后呢，他需要妈妈帮忙捐骨髓给他。是妈咪啊。师姑打电话给我说。
I was really surprised when the Tzu Chi aunt called me and told me there was a match. How could this happen 3 years after a sign-up at the stem cell registry, when I was about to get married?
Yijing signed up as a potential stem cell donor in her senior year of college. She did not expect to get this call before she got married. Her decision to save someone's life won the support of her family.
我觉得就是，算是菩萨送给我的另外一种祝福就对了。
I think this is the blessing given to me by the Bodhisattva. I can donate my stem cells and help someone in need to become healthy and live with his family.
健康，然后家庭很圆满这样子，对。
Finally, his son's life was saved. Sheng'an's father, who runs a gravel plant, invited his employees to help level the farmland upon learning that help was needed at Tzu Chi's Zhongli grounds.
I leveled the ground driving an excavator. Back then there was no road here. We listened to the Tzu Chi brother and paved the road. Since they've helped my son, this is no big deal for us.
The Yang family is very grateful to the stem cell donor and to the volunteers for giving Sheng'an a second chance of life so the family can remain united.
In Jordan, Tzu Chi volunteers have continued to provide care and assistance to refugees, in addition to visiting and providing medicine for an elderly woman from Pakistan who suffers from breast cancer. They also care for the Bedouins in the desert regions.
The children are filled with joy seeing these colorful balloons. volunteers regularly care for the Bedouins in the desert regions. After they moved to a new area, the volunteers have come to provide house calls. They've brought medicine and supplements for the dialysis patient. Since the child who suffers from tonsil inflammation cannot sleep well, the volunteer decided to take her to the hospital. This elderly woman from Pakistan was diagnosed with breast cancer 8 years ago. She underwent a surgery with the help of the son of the King of Jordan. The volunteers have continued to care for her, providing her with medicine.
This check is good. He's doing good. Alhamdulillah.
This big family can hardly make ends meet by farming. Although they live a simple and frugal life, they still consider themselves fortunate to have escaped the atrocities of war.
As Tzu Chi volunteers in China will commence their winter aid distributions in 2 more months, volunteers from Fujian's Quanzhou spent 2 days traveling all across Quanzhou's Luojiang districts and Hui'an Township to ensure the needs of the recipients are met.
To prepare for the upcoming winter aid distribution, Quanzhou Tzu Chi volunteers began conducting home visitations as early as September of this year. They visited 73-year-old Chen Xiquan, who has cerebral palsy, which resulted in his hand deformity. The volunteers praised his brother's wife, who has taken well care of him.
It's not easy for you to take care of your family and your husband's brother. What a great feat.
92-year-old Mr. Chen has no children of his own, and after he had a stroke, it was his nephew's wife who has been taking care of him. With encouragement from the volunteers, Mr. Chen speaks from the heart. The words of gratitude express the old man's contentment, and the volunteers also give a big hug to the nephew's wife to express their gratitude. 117 volunteers divide up into 27 teams to visit 106 villages in Quanzhou's Luojiang district and Hui'an Township. 88-year-old Mrs. Wu feels sad her children and grandchildren are not near and has no one to help her. The volunteer's suggestion elicits a smile from the old woman, and she begins to chat like there's no tomorrow. When volunteers indicate they are leaving, Mrs. Wu hesitates to let them go. The 2 days of home visitations has helped spread the volunteers' love and blessings to 144 families.
The Tzu Chi Liaison Office in the United Kingdom held this year's final lesson for volunteers in training. In the last lesson, the trainees learned about Tzu Chi's international disaster relief, environmental protection, and the mission of being a media volunteer, as they all hope to uphold Tzu Chi's ideals upon their certification. We will leave you with these images. Goodbye.